Dabo. Ikiwa ndio ndio kwa dabo. Ba. Ulipoja kuja mio. Iko na ni lesson no. Kuja mio iko na ni lesson no.
Hey, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Adolphus. Good morning. We can't hear you. What is the problem? Good morning, Frederick. Sean Frederick. Sean. Sean. Hello. Yes, Sean. 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 Franklin. Franklin. Sean. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. We are getting you. You continue. We connect, confirm.
Now, I hope you're getting what I hope you're getting what I'm saying. We want to continue from where we left on Monday. And so far, we've been dealing with parts of speech. We've been dealing with parts of speech. And we did agree that we have 9 parts of speech. There are 9 in total. We have noun, we have pronoun, we have I hope you're getting what we have adjectives, we have verbs, we have adverbs. Number 6, we said that we have conjunctions. Number 7, we said that we have prepositions. Number 8, we said that we have articles. And number 9, we said we have interjections. So there are 9 parts of speech. So far, I want to believe that we've done nouns, we have done pronouns, we are through with adjectives. I want to believe that we've done verbs. I want to believe that have we done adverbs? Sean Frederick, have we done adverbs? I don't know if it's the network problem, but I can't. I hope you're getting what I'm saying, because I can't hear you what you're saying. But allow me to begin from adverbs. That is, if we've not done adverbs, we have a double lesson. So we want to do adverbs today. We want to go through conjunctions. And if time allows, we will also talk about prepositions. There's something unique with these articles, because even the KCSE that these people did last week, there were 3 marks on articles. And therefore, when you're talking about these things, we need to take them seriously, because it is not that we are only doing them for one, and there's nowhere where they are going to be set. We are saying that we learn them in Form 1, and there are chances that they will be set in KCSE. One thing about KCSE is that even the people who are setting these exams are aware that what you learned in Form 1, definitely you've forgotten. And in a case like last week, when they were doing paper 2, grammar, and they give 3 marks about articles alone, when to use when to use and when to use they, that the so-and-so played dash guitar, then you need to know that whatever we are doing here are basic and things that are going to help you, when you reach the higher classes. So we need to take this thing seriously. And I want to believe that so far so good. The notes that I gave in nouns have been revised. The notes that I gave on pronouns have been revised. Adjectives, verbs have been revised, so that if there is any question that is asked from any of those, then we must be in a position to answer. Allow me to talk about adverbs as another part of speech. Adverbs. Adverbs. Now, when we are talking about adverbs, we are basically referring to words used in sentences. Words used in sentences to modify. Words used in sentences to modify. We can talk about modify, or describe, or give more information. Words that are used in sentences to modify, to describe, or give more information about verbs in sentences. That's the basic things that adverbs do. They are used in sentences to modify, to describe, or to give more information about nouns, or sorry, about verbs that they modify. In other words, adverbs does the position, does the function just the same as that of adjective. But now that adjective is for nouns, adverbs is for verbs. While adjectives are used to give more information about nouns, adverbs are used to give more information about verbs. If, for example, I have a sentence such as, the tall girl is a basketball player. The tall girl is a basketball player. He's tall. In this case, is modifying this girl. So tall in this case is an adjective. But if I have this sentence that the tall girl walked slowly, the tall girl walked slowly. Of course, tall, we still modify the girl, which is an adjective. But when you're talking about walked, slowly is now giving us more information about this walked. And therefore, slowly is an adverb, because we are saying that adverbs are used to modify or give more information about verbs that have been used in sentence. The sentence could have been correct, could have grammatically correct if I said the girl walked and put a full stop there. The sentence will be still correct. But because I want to give additional information about how this girl walked, so I'm adding the word slowly. So slowly in this case, it is used to give us more information about this walked, which is the verb. Walked, how? Slowly. And therefore slowly is our adverb. Adverb. To add more information about the verbs that either they come before or they come after. So this slowly in this case is an example of an adverb. If we have a sentence such as, the angry boy ate greedily. The angry boy ate greedily. So this greedily is used to give more information about ate, which is the verb. Eating is a verb. So ate how? Greedily. So greedily in this case is an adverb, which is used in this case to give more information about the eating of this boy. How? Ate greedily. So when you talk about adverbs, are words which are used to give more information, to describe verbs in sentences. And I've also gone ahead and give examples, the two examples, ignore these, the two examples that the tall girl walked slowly. So slowly in this case is used to give more information about walked, which is a verb. The next one we're talking about, the angry boy ate greedily. So greedily in this case is giving us more information about ate. Ate how? Greedily. Now, having known what adverbs are, we want to go to the types of adverbs. We want to go to the types of adverbs, and we are saying that we have 5. There are 5 types of adverbs. They are 5 types of adverbs. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one, we have adverbs of manner. First one, we have adverbs of manner. The second one, we have adverbs of time. The next one, we have adverbs of place. The next one, we have adverbs of frequency. That is number 4, I believe. Number 4, adverbs of frequency. And last one is adverbs of degree. So there are 5 types of adverbs that we have. We have adverbs of manner. We have adverbs of time. We have adverbs of place. We have adverbs of frequency. And lastly, we have adverbs of degree. We want to begin with the adverbs of manner. Now, when you talk about adverbs of manner, we are referring to those adverbs that are showing us how an action took place, is taking place, or will take place. Adverbs that are showing us how an action took place, is taking place, or will take place. They answer the question how. Adverbs of manner answer the question how. And I'm saying that adverbs of manner. In which manner? When somebody asks you in which manner, then how did it happen? So if I give example like, the boy walked slowly. How did the boy walk? Slowly. So slowly is an adverb of manner, showing us in which manner the boy walked. The angry child ate greedily. How did the angry child eat? The angry child ate greedily. So greedily is an adverb that is showing us the manner in which the action took place. And we are saying that adverbs of manner answer the question, how? I hope that is understood and you've written it somewhere. Now, adverbs of time. When we are talking about adverbs of time, then we are referring to these adverbs that are giving us when an action took place. Adverbs of time are telling us when. They answer the question when an action took place, will take place, or is taking place. They answer the question when an action took place, will take place, or is taking place. Adverbs of time. If I say, the boy kicked the ball in the morning. So morning is telling us when the boy kicked the ball. The action of kicking, when did it take place? When? In the morning. I will come in the afternoon. I will come in the afternoon. So in the afternoon is giving us when this coming is going to take place. So come is the verb. Additional information about coming. After all, the sentence can be, I will come. So in the morning or in the afternoon is just giving additional information about this coming. So it's an adverb showing time, when an action will take place, is taking place. Then we have adverbs. So we are through with the adverbs of manner. We are through with adverbs of time. We are talking about adverbs of place. Now, when you're referring to adverbs of place, we are basically talking about where an action is taking place, where an action will take place, as far as the verb is concerned. So adverbs of place are those that shows the venue where the occasion will be taking place or is taking place. So they answer the question where. Adverbs of place answers the question where. Where will it take place? Where will it take place? If I say, I am going inside. So inside is the place, giving more information about this going. Where? Inside. I am going inside. I am going inside. He went to the market. So the market is that adverb of place showing us where that person went to the market. So market is the place showing us where did this person go to. Then we have adverbs of frequency. Now, when you talk about frequency, we are talking about how often. Adverbs of frequency talks about how often is an action taking place or will an action take place. How often? How often an action is taking place or will take, the frequency in which something happens. The frequency, what is the occurrence? The frequency of occurrence. If, for example, I say, I rarely go to the mosque. So rarely is showing the frequency. Rarely now in that case shows the frequency of me going. I rarely go to church. Rarely. So in that case, rarely is giving us information about how often. So in other words, I'm saying that adverbs of frequency answers the question, how often? Or somebody will say, how often? How often do you go to church? I rarely. So the word like rarely, occasionally, seldom, regularly, always, they show us frequency in which something happens or will happen. After this incident, I promise I will rarely visit him. I will rarely visit him. So the occasion, the frequency in which in the future you will be seeing this person is rarely. How often will you be seeing that person? Rarely. How often will you be seeing that person? Occasionally. How often will you be seeing this person? Always. And that's why I'm saying that adverbs of frequency shows us how often is an action happening or will action happen. And we're using the words such as rarely, regularly, seldom, occasionally, always, etc. Then we have the last one is adverbs of degree. Adverbs of degree. Now, when we are talking about adverbs of degree, we are referring to what extent? To what extent is an action taking place? Adverbs of degree shows us to what extent is an action happening. To what extent? So if you talk about I'm looking at a perfect example, adverb of degree. If you talk about John kicked the ball high. John kicked the ball high. So this high is giving us the degree of kicking. To what extent it was so high? He slapped him so hard. He slapped him so hard. So this so hard is giving more information about this slapping. Is giving you to what extent was the slap made. Somebody is having a question. Elisha Lagat. I don't know if you are. The network is going to allow you. Just ask the question. Elisha Lagat, your hands are up. Elisha Lagat is not speaking. Now, when you're talking about John kicked the ball high, the high is giving us to what extent or to what degree was the ball kicked high. He slapped him so hard. To what degree? To what extent? So hard. So these are 5 types of adverbs that we have that are basic that you need to know. You need to know their use, and you need to identify an adverb, and you're able to group them under these 5, knowing very well that the bottom line is that an adverb, the basic information about these adverbs, that they are used to modify, to describe or give more information about verbs. And we gave examples and we saw how that happens. Going to the types, you need to know that manner shows how, time shows when, place shows where, frequency shows how often, degree shows to what extent an action is taking place or will take place. So that's something that I wanted to share with you as far as these adverbs are concerned. As far as these adverbs are concerned. I don't know what is the problem with the network. I wish that I could be getting feedback from you because I like engaging. But seems that either my side or your side is having a problem. But you'll allow me to go to conjunctions now that we are through with the adverbs. Mine is to give you the basic of what this entails. Remember, we are talking about parts of speech. We've not started going into details of what all these entails. When we start getting into that, we'll now be talking about things in details, like there are these adverbs that are used to show time, reason, and all that. Those are now details that we may not get into right now. But let's talk about conjunctions as another topic that I wanted us to discuss today. For those who started the meeting, I said that we need to move up to probably prepositions so that we only remain with the articles and interjections. And I've also said that articles came in KCSE this year, 3 marks. Out of the 15 marks in grammar, 3 marks were for articles. And you never know, probably you are here. One of these things that you're doing today will come in the exams. So I hope you're writing notes. What you feel is important, you put it down. You add to the notes that you have in class, and together you be a better person. You understand it better than somebody that is not getting this opportunity to attend the session. Let's go to conjunctions. Conjunctions. Now, when we are talking about conjunctions, we are referring to words used to link, to join clauses or sentences. They are words used to link or join clauses or sentences. Their function is to link. Bring this side and bring this side, I put together. So what is putting this thing together, these two things together, is what we call conjunctions. Their function is to link, join. If I have a sentence such as Sam washed the dishes, full stop. Sentence 2, John cooked lunch. Then I want to join them, put them together. Then I'll say, Sam washed the dishes while so-and-so cooked lunch. So this while that I'm using is a word that I'm using to link these two together. So it means that this while is a conjunction, because what is used in sentences to join things together is what we call conjunctions. And that's why we're saying that conjunctions are words used to link, to join clauses or sentences. I hope that is understood, that we use them to link or join clauses or sentences. And I'm giving example. When I say Sam cleaned the dishes, it's a sentence. Then I say Tim cooked lunch or prepared lunch. So these are two sentences. Sentence A, 1A, and sentence 1B. Then if I want to join them, then I must use a linking word. That linking word is what we call conjunction. I'll say Sam cleaned the dishes while Tim cooked lunch. This while is what I call conjunction, because what is its function there? Its function is to link this part with this part. And we are saying a word used in sentence to link parts of sentence, a clause or a sentence, is called conjunction. It therefore means that this while is my conjunction. I hope that is understood. I hope that is understood. Having known that conjunctions are words used to link or join clauses or sentences, I want us to before looking at the types of conjunctions, I want us to probably talk about a clause. I want us to talk about a clause, what a clause is. Now, when you're talking about a clause, because I'm saying that it's used to join a clause or a sentence. So a clause is a part of a sentence that can or cannot make sense. A clause is a part of a sentence that can or cannot make sense. A clause is that part of a sentence that can or cannot. There's a reason why I'm saying that, so that we know what we are talking about. A clause is that part of a sentence that can or cannot make sense. Then I'm saying, going further, I want you to say that there are two types of clauses. 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 We are saying we have main clause, also known as independent. Main clauses, also known as independent clause. I want us to get this because this is something that confuses even a Form 4. I've said that a clause is a part of a sentence that can or cannot make sense on its own. So on one side, it can make sense on its own. On the other side, it cannot make sense on its own. And I'm saying there are two types of clauses. One, we are saying that we have main clause. Main clause is also known as independent clause. Then on the other side, we have subordinate clause. Subordinate clause is also known as dependent. It is not independent, it is dependent. Dependent clause. I'm just trying to help you understand my definition of a conjunction better, because I've used the word clause and somebody may not know what a clause is. Nick W, your hands are up. Okay, we are saying that a clause is a part of a sentence that can or cannot make sense. The next thing, we say that there are two types of clause. We have main clause, also known as independent clause. We have subordinate clause, also known as dependent clause. Also known as dependent clause. Let's start with the main clause. Sure, Frederick, you're saying something. Okay. Let's start with the main clause. Let's start with the main clause, stroke independent clause. So when you talk about main clause, stroke independent clause, we are saying that this is a clause that can stand on its own. This is a clause that can stand on its own and make sense. It is a clause that can stand on its own and make sense. It is a clause that can stand on its own and make sense. It is a clause that can stand on its own and make sense. So that part of a sentence that can stand on its own and make sense, we call it main clause or independent clause. Example, I want to write this example. Example. I will plant trees if it rains. So this part of I will plant trees up to that point. I will plant trees. That part of a sentence can stand on its own and make sense. Even if you remove if it rains, this part can stand on its own and make sense. I will plant trees. It's a complete thought. So this one is what we call main clause. Is a part of sentence that can stand on its own and make sense. Main clause in bracket independent clause. Another example, unless you work hard, comma, you will not pass exams. Unless you work hard, you will not pass exams. So this part that states that you will not pass exams expresses a complete thought. Unless you work hard, you will not pass exams. So that part that expresses you will not pass exams is a complete sentence. It can stand on its own and make sense. It is a part of a sentence that can stand on its own and make sense. So that part that can stand on its own and make sense is what we call main clause, in bracket, independent. Now let's go to subordinate. Let's go to subordinate. And even from the name subordinate, something like subordinate staff. Subordinate means subordinate cannot work without the main one, without the main staff. We cannot have a school with subordinate staff without main staff. So if subordinate is there, the subordinate must just work, subordinate must just work with another staff. So when you talk about subordinate clause, we are referring to clauses that cannot stand on their own and make sense. They cannot stand on their own and make sense. They are clauses that cannot stand on their own and make sense. They must be attached to the main clause for them to make sense. They must be attached to the main clause for them to make sense. That's what a subordinate clause, dependent clause is all about. And the word is dependent. So it is depending on something. This one is independent. Something that is independent is something that can work on its own. But dependent depends on something. So we are saying that subordinate clauses are clauses that cannot stand on their own and make sense. They must be attached to the main clause for them to make sense. Look at my example there. I want us to use those examples for subordinate, but now we're underlining a different part. I will plant trees if it rains. The other part that I've not underlined, if it rains, there's no way I can come in class and just tell you if it rains, then put a full stop. It doesn't make sense on its own. There's no way I'll come to class probably and tell you, unless you work hard and put a full stop, what will happen? That's the next question that you'll be asking. What will happen? So unless you work hard cannot stand on its own, such that we write unless you work hard, then put a full stop there. It cannot make sense on its own. It can only make sense when it is attached to the other part for it now to make sense. So unless you work hard, cannot stand on its own and make sense. If it rains, cannot stand on its own and make sense. It must be embedded. In other words, it must be attached to the other part for it to make sense. So I want you to use the two examples again, but now we are underlining if it rains and writing subordinate clause. Use this for subordinate clause, but now we are underlining this and writing subordinate clause in bracket dependent. This one we also underlining unless you work hard, and you are writing subordinate in bracket dependent. In bracket dependent. So this part cannot stand on its own and make sense. This part cannot stand on its own and make sense. It must be attached on another for it to make sense. Up to that point now, I want to believe that we've understood what clauses are, and the two types of clauses. We can now move to the types of conjunctions. Having understood what a clause is, because those are things that we are going to use when we are talking about types of conjunction. So we can move to the types of conjunctions. Types of conjunctions. Types of conjunction. Say there are three types. Types of conjunction. There are three types. Number one, coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction. Number two, subordinating conjunction. And number three, we have correlative conjunction. We have correlative conjunction. So we are saying that there are three types of conjunctions. We are saying there's coordinating conjunction, there's subordinating conjunction, there's correlative conjunction. Now we want to go step by step. We want to go step by step, and let's start with coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction. Now, when you talk about coordinating conjunction, we are referring to conjunctions, and you are writing, these are conjunctions that are used to join clauses of equal level. They are used to join clauses of equal level. When I talk about equal level, we are referring to the fact that coordinating conjunction, when I talk about coordinating conjunction, it joins main clause plus main clause of equal level, main clause plus main clause, and the resultant sentence is called compound sentence. That's the work. So this is what is used here to join. This is what we call coordinating. This is what we call coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction, we are saying that they are used to join things of the same level. To coordinate. To coordinate. For example, when I say, we've done exams, teachers are going to coordinate the marking scheme. We are going to talk about that marking scheme from the same level. All of us are at the same level, coordinating. And that's why this main clause is the same level with this main clause. And what is used to join those two things that are at the same level is what we call coordinating conjunction. If I have a sentence such as, John kicked the ball, main clause. These are main clause. This is 1A. Then 1B, I have Sam picked the ball. Another main clause. Then I want to join this A and B to form one full sentence, one compound sentence. Then it will be John kicked the ball and Sam picked it. So instead of repeating, remember I told you when we are doing pronouns, I told you the reason why we are using pronouns is to avoid unnecessary repetition. Otherwise, this it simply means that John kicked the ball and Sam picked the ball. So instead of unnecessary repetition, we are replacing the second ball with it, a pronoun. But I'm so much concerned with the word that is used to join them. John kicked the ball and Sam picked it. So this and is used to join clauses of equal level or stature. We refer to this and as coordinating conjunction. I hope that is understood. We are referring to this and as coordinating conjunction. I hope that is understood. So coordinating conjunction joins main plus main. The resultant sentence is a compound sentence. Let's go to subordinating conjunction. Let's go to subordinating conjunction. Let's go to subordinating. Now, even as the name suggests, subordinate. Now, when you talk about subordinating conjunction, we are referring to the fact that it is a conjunction that is used to join, let me first write it, subordinating conjunction. When you talk about subordinating conjunction, we are referring to conjunctions that are used to join main clause to a subordinate clause. And that's why I was talking about those clauses so that you know. It is a conjunction, subordinating conjunction is a conjunction that is used to join main clause to a subordinate clause, and the resultant sentence is called complex sentence. And the resultant sentence is called complex sentence. A good example. John is 1A. John came to work late. Full stop. John came to work late. That's the main clause, can stand on his own and make sense. So these are main clause. 1B would be because of sickness. Full stop. So because of sickness is a clause that cannot stand on its own and make sense. So it is a subordinate. It is a subordinate clause. So when I join the two, it will be, so the C will be John came to work late because of sickness. Full stop. So these are complex sentence. These are complex sentence. So John came to work late because of sickness. So if I have this up to here is the main clause. It can stand on its own and make sense. Because of sickness cannot stand on its own and make sense. It is the subordinate clause. But within the subordinate clause, we have a subordinating conjunction, because. So because is the subordinating conjunction. I hope that is understood. So John came to work late because of sickness. And we are saying John came to work late is the main clause. Because of sickness is the subordinate clause. But because is the subordinating conjunction. It is this subordinating conjunction here. Is the subordinating conjunction there. So the next thing that I want us to talk about and say, the subordinating conjunction is part and parcel of the subordinate clause. The subordinating conjunction is part and parcel of the subordinating of the subordinate clause, like what you see, because is part and parcel of the subordinate clause. Subordinating conjunction is part and parcel of the subordinate clause. Like, look at where I've started underlining from because, which is the subordinate. So subordinating conjunction is part and parcel of the subordinate clause. That is that. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Is correlative. Correlative. When you talk about correlative, co, like you have something like co-wife, co-worker, co-pilot. This co, I'm so much interested in this co because it is what is there. So co-wife, co-worker, co-pilot. It means that that co is two. Co means two. Co-wife, it means there are two wives. Co-worker, it means there are two. Co-pilot, it means there's a pilot and there's another person that helps. So there are two. Jeremy Kutio, your hands are up. So when you're talking about co, we are basically meaning two. So it therefore means that correlative conjunctions, correlative conjunctions, correlative conjunctions are these conjunctions that appears in pairs. Correlative conjunctions appears, and the word is must appear. Exactly. You underline that word must, because it's a mistake that when you'll be in Form 3, you'll be doing that mistake. Must appear in pairs. I hope you know what pairs are. It is a conjunction that must appear in pairs. For example, the moment I see you writing, not only, then definitely I must see, but also. Not only, but also. The moment you write not only and there's no but also, then the sentence is not grammatically correct. The moment I see either, I must see or. Must appear in pairs. So either definitely must go with or. The moment I see neither, must go with nor. Not only, I must see but also. The moment I see both, I must see and. I hope you're getting that. So this is what we call correlative. Co, they appear in two. And remember I said that co means two. So correlative conjunctions are conjunctions that must be used in pairs. Either must go with or, neither must go with nor, not only must go with but also, both must go with and. So when using them in sentences, somebody is telling you, and they test this a lot. They test this correlative a lot. They'll tell you, begin the sentence either. Begin with either. Or begin the sentence with not only. Begin the sentence both. So when they tell you such things, they just want to understand. Did you understand that this either, neither, not only, both are correlative conjunction, and therefore that there's something that they must use on the other side? Such that if you use either and you fail to use or somewhere in that sentence, definitely, and in fact, that is the marking point, definitely the sentence is wrong. You use neither and you fail to use nor, the sentence is wrong. Not only, but also the same. So for your homework, I want you to do this. Hardly. Hardly goes with what? No sooner. No sooner than goes with what? Scarcely goes with what? So that you know those things. So this is what we call correlative conjunction. And by far and large, these are the three types of conjunction that we have. So today I've done adverbs. I have done conjunctions. Somebody's hand is up. Sayona, ups. Your hands are up and you're not asking questions. Just put your hands down and we understand. So we talked about adverbs, sorry. We've gone through adverbs so far. We've talked about conjunctions. So far, we are somewhere with the conjunction. The only thing that I've not given is probably the examples in the coordinating. Under coordinating, conjunction that I used is and, or, but, while. Mostly used. Subordinating, we have because, since, we have because, since, although, though, etc. For relative, I've given examples. You have them there, and I've given you 3 to go and look for the second part of that pair. So I think I want to end that conjunction at that point and very fast introduce prepositions. I know you're tired, but very fast I want to introduce this preposition so that next time when we start with it, it's not something new to us. Conjunctions, sorry, prepositions. Today it was our double. So I hope you're patient enough. Prepositions. Prepositions. Now, when we are talking about prepositions, we are referring to words in sentences because they are parts of speech. We are referring to words in sentences, words that are used to show relation. To show relation in sentences. That's the broad definition of what a preposition is. A preposition is a word used to show relations in sentences. If we are going specific, we'll say they are used to shows relationship between the subject to the rest of the sentence. They are used to show relationship between the subject to the rest of the sentence. So basically, prepositions are just for showing relationships. What is this part of the sentence? What is the relation that this part of the sentence is having with the other part of the sentence? What is the relationship that this part of the sentence is having to the rest of the sentence? What is the relationship that this subject, and by now I want to believe that we know what a subject is. The subject is the doer of the action in a sentence. So what is this relationship that the doer of the action is having to the rest of the sentence? If I have a sentence, just want to explain that. E.g., I have a sentence such as, the dog or the mug, let me talk about the mug, is on the table. This on is my preposition. This on is my preposition. The mug is on the table. So this mug is the subject. So we want to look at this relationship that the mug is having in relation to the part of the sentence. The relationship that this mug is having to the rest of the sentence, that it is on the table. It is on the table. That's the relationship that these two are sharing, that the mug is on the table. The cat is under the bed. The cat is under the bed. So this under is a preposition showing me the relation of this cat with the bed. And the relationship is that it is under it. So when we talk about prepositions, we are talking about words used in sentences, and the function is to show relation in sentences. And if we go specific, we are saying that these are words that are used to show the relationship between the subject to the rest of the, or to the rest of the part of the sentence. Like what we are seeing here, the mug is on the table, the cat is under the bed, the driver is at the seat, and such things. Joy Chepto Akuto, say something. Your hands are up. I don't know if these people are speaking or they don't know that their hands are up. Because when I tell them to speak, they don't speak. Or if they are speaking, I can't hear you. So we are saying that prepositions are words that are used to show relation. We've given that. Going further, we want to look at the types of prepositions. Types of prepositions. And say there are two types of prepositions. 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 There are two types of preposition. We have simple prepositions. Next one, we have complex preposition. There are two types of preposition. We have simple preposition and we have complex preposition. When I talk about simple preposition, we are referring to a one-word preposition. So what is a simple preposition? A simple preposition is a preposition made up of one word, a one-word preposition, e.g., on, at, by, under, over, across, etc. There are so many. Simple prepositions are prepositions that are made up of one word. Complex preposition, on the other side, is a preposition made up of more than one word. Complex preposition is a preposition that is made up of more than one word. Complex preposition is further divided into two. Complex preposition is further divided into two. The first part, we have a two-word complex preposition. The other side, we have a three-word complex preposition. So we are saying that complex preposition, again, is divided into two. We have two-word complex preposition. Then we have three-word complex preposition. Now, what is this two-word complex preposition? When you're talking about a two-word complex preposition, we are referring to this complex, and this one you must write. We are referring to these complex prepositions that are made up of a word. It is made up of a word and a simple preposition. It is made up of a word and a simple preposition. Made up of a word and a simple preposition. Made up of a word plus simple preposition. It is made up of a word and a simple preposition. Example. I'm looking at a perfect example of a complex, two-word complex. I'm looking at an example of a two-word complex preposition. Skipping my mind. A two-word complex preposition. We're talking about in between. In between. In between. Why are these people not speaking? What will be the problem?
You can ask them aloud. I'll tell you.
Alois Boa. Say something.
An example of a two-word complex preposition.
Yes.
Can we talk about downstairs?
Down?
Downstairs.
Downstairs. That's not a preposition. Downstairs is not a preposition. What's our definition of a preposition? Alois Bauer. In between is a perfect example of a two-word preposition. But I want to talk about three words so that we understand what this two-word is all about. Now, when you talk about a three-word preposition, we are talking about a preposition that is made, a complex preposition that is made up of a simple, I'm supposed to write that side, simple preposition plus a word plus simple preposition. So there are three. It is made up of simple preposition plus a word, probably a noun, plus a simple preposition. A word such as on account of. On account of. Remember, I said that it's made up of a simple preposition, a word, which is a noun, and another simple preposition. So that's what makes a three-word complex preposition. Bernard, say something.
In accordance
with. So in is the simple preposition, accordance is the word which is the noun, with is another simple preposition, a three-word preposition. Thank you. So those are three-word complex preposition. We are saying that they are made up of a simple preposition, a word, and another simple preposition. In regard to. In regard to. So in is the simple preposition, regard is the word, to is another simple preposition. I hope that is understood. Yes, Kiplabat.
And what about how can you put that in a sentence?
How can you put this in a sentence?
Yeah.
Like which one? In accordance with?
Give a sentence which has that complex
I will do
conjunction.
my work in accordance with the laid down rules. I will do my work in accordance with the laid down rules. I will only help you on account of you being honest.
Yeah.
Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how they're used in sentences. In accordance with, it means according to. It's like according to. So I will do my work in accordance with the laid down rules.
Yeah.
Lee has disappeared. Alicia.
Excuse me, Tisha, can you say in remembrance of?
In remembrance. It is not in remembrance. In remembrance of. So in
memory.
Remembrance of. So in is the simple, remembrance is the word, of is another simple. So it is a complex, a three-word complex preposition.
Excuse me, Tisha.
Yes.
And in return to.
still, in,
Yes.
return to, still.
Yes.
So there are so many. So that's what is all about with, unless somebody is still having a question, that is what is all with our preposition. We have the simple preposition. I'm not going into details because when you now talk about simple preposition, as you go further in Form 2, second term, and so on, you'll now be talking about the functions of prepositions. And there are those that shows reason, there are those that shows time, there are those that shows instrument, like I came by bus, those that shows instrument, those that shows place, on, the table, such things. Those are now we are talking about those that shows duration, scenes, like scenes. Those ones are now in details, but for now I just want us to know that prepositions are words that are used to show relations, and because they're used to show relations, in most cases we are saying that they are used to show relations of the subject to the rest of the sentence. That one we've said, we've given examples. We've gone ahead and said that prepositions are of two types. We have simple prepositions, and we say that simple prepositions are one word preposition. We've given examples. Then we said the other part, we have complex prepositions. Complex prepositions, we've said, they are made up of more than one word. So it can be 2 or 3. They are made up of more than one word. We've gone further and said that these complex prepositions are further divided into 2. We have a 2-word complex preposition. We have a 3-word complex preposition. 2-word complex preposition, we say that is made up of a word and a simple preposition. In between, I'm trying to look at other examples. I'm trying to look at other examples. In between. Here, the 3-1, we have something like in spite of. And something that people always forget, in spite of is 3-word, not 2. In spite of is 3 words, but there's nothing like despite of. It is despite. So despite is just a simple preposition. There's nothing like despite of. It is in spite of. Yes, Labat.
So what can be the possible question in that
In the
complex? Yeah.
The question you can be, they can tell you, fill in the blank spaces with the complex, with a suitable complex preposition. Fill in the blank spaces with the appropriate or suitable complex preposition. Or if somebody wants to get specific, we'll tell you, fill in the blank spaces with a 2-word complex preposition. You know, that's now when somebody wants you to use this. But if you're told, fill in the blanks with a complex preposition, you have the space to use, either to use the 2-word or to use the
3-word.
Have you understood that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Kipsang Emmanuel.
Can you say despite the fact that?
Despite the fact that is okay. Alex. Alex. Alex doesn't want to speak. Michael.
Can we have up above as a 2-word complex?
Up.
Up above.
Yes. Up, above. It's a 2-word. Up, above. Okay. So that's what it is with a preposition. I want to end my lesson at that point. I want to end my lesson at that point, but take into account or into consideration that so far today we've dealt with 3 key things. We've dealt with the adverbs, we've dealt with the conjunctions. My pen is gone. Number 7, we've dealt with the prepositions, such that the number 8 and number 9 that is remaining are a 1-hour lesson that we'll do. If you will be having this lesson next week, we'll do articles and we do interjections. Interjection is the smallest, and we are through with the parts of speech, so that if time allows, we'll now be getting into other issues that we may want to know. So up to that point, we come to the end of the lesson, unless somebody is having a question. Okay. Yes. Kiplabat.
Was these complex prepositions, was it a Form 1 work?
This complex preposition. Did you
Yeah.
do simple preposition?
Yeah?
Did you do simple preposition?
No.
You did.
No.
Yes, we
We
did
did.
not do it.
Have you done prepositions?
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
done prepositions,
Yeah.
Yes.
but you didn't do simple preposition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, so which prepositions were you doing? Or you only talked about preposition in general?
We did not get deeper into.
So it's good now that you've attended this class. So you know
Yeah.
that those prepositions that you did, there are those ones called simple, and there are those ones called
Complex.
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 Simple, 1 word. Complex, 2 word, more than 1 word. Can have a 2-word complex preposition, or you have a 3-word complex preposition. There are things that are set in exams. And if I happen to set your exams in Form 2, I'll set that, because they are in the syllabus.
Oh.
Let me allow Ivan to talk. Everyone say something.
Sorry, it was by mistake.
Oh, it's okay. Ivan doesn't want even to say hi. So anybody with a question before we wind up our lesson? Pascal, say something. Pascal? Pascal? Pascal doesn't want. Adolphus? Bwana mmoja mchezo. Nyinyi mnabeba tu mkono na muongei. Elfas? Let me give people a word. Say something.
After these parts of speech, can you revise the exam that we did?
Yes, we can. After these parts, so we are only remaining with 2. No,
Yeah.
So we are going to do this on Monday. These 2, which will only take us 1 hour. Then the next day we are revising that paper. Don't be worried. So
Yeah.
because
Yes.
look at where we come from. So we're only remaining with 2. Today we've done 3. We're only remaining with 2, and that will take us an hour. And I've told you that you take this thing seriously, because the cases that these people did, there was 3 marks from articles, from 1 work. So when we'll be doing these
Yeah.
articles and interjection, we'll also be looking at those questions that were asked in that KCSE. So we'll revise probably on Tuesday. Up to that point, kila mtu aende kwao.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome, Alicia.
Have a good day.
You have a good day too.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.